Okay, quickly let's start. Yeah, you know already. IELTS main international English language testing system, and they have some countries which require this IELTS exam for migration purpose, such as Australia, UK, New Zealand, Canada, and USA. They have some few countries actually, but mostly Sri Lankans are tend to migrate into these kind of countries. That's the requirement of IELTS. Now, first question. Most of the students are asking this question. As this course is containing only 1 month, so they're asking, is this 1 month is enough for preparation for this IELTS exam? Especially, I'm talking about speaking test. So definitely, it's more than enough, but it depends with your commitment. If you're having a good English level right now, then you can cover everything within this 1 month without putting some extra effort. Maybe you may be able to uh, grab everything without any extra effort. But if you are a person who is having some issues with your speaking, then you have to work a lot. But that commitment is required in order to be fluent and gain higher marks in IELTS exam. Second one, can I pass IELTS without coaching? Coaching means joining with any class like this. That also really possible. Okay, to be honest, that's really possible. But the thing is, if you in order to do that, you have to be in a kind of good position right now. If you are a person who is having a good speaking level, I'm talking about speaking only, not about other parts. So if you're having a good fluency and good speaking level, as well as if you already know about the requirements of IELTS exam, then you may be able to cover this one with your self study. But in most cases, people are required someone for evaluating their speeches and finding out their lapses. Okay. Third question. Is there an age limit for taking IELTS? You already know there is no any age limit. Can I postpone the exam date? Definitely you can. If you feel like you are not ready for the exam, then you can postpone your exam date. But you have to inform that to the center prior to the exam, as well as there is a postpone fee as well. But still that's possible. So it's better to be prepared with the exam rather than postponing. And also whenever you are booking your exam, you should be understand that booking exam is not a big issue, not a big deal. But the thing is, you should be understanding the level you are in right now before booking your exam. Because if you are a person who is not ready for going through this exam, and if you are booking your exam without taking any gap in between, then that's an extra headache for you. Don't do that. If you are having any emergency for migration and going to the IELTS exam, then that is totally okay booking your exam. But the thing is, after booking your exam, you have to work on the exam. You have to use some effort for pass to the exam. Okay. What are the test fees? Test fees actually, I'm not going to explain right now. They have several test fees. They have UKIV as well as general, as well as computer based, paper based. So they have different test fees. Overall, as a I can say as an average, they have 65,000 or something for test fees. You know better than me. Okay. Next thing, they have two different ways for taking this IELTS exam. It depends on your requirement. They have academic as well as general test. So when it is coming to speaking, there is no any difference in between academic and general. Both these streams are somewhat similar when it's coming to a speaking test. Anyways, if you are a nurse, then if you are trying to migrate as a registered nurse, then definitely you have to go with academic. And if you are a person who is going for your higher education, then definitely you have to go with the academic. As well as if you are a person who is going for settle in there, then you can go with general. So it depends on your requirement, as well as you have to check with your agent or your consultants. Ah, Now we are getting into the point. This is the way you are taking your overall band score. Okay, some people still don't know about this one. That's why I have add this into this slide. So just take this example, test taker one. You can see this person has taken 6.5 for listening, it's 6.5 for reading, and 5.4 writing, 7.4 is speaking. So your overall band score is the average of these marks. So it should be 6.25 if it is the average, because divide from 4 this total amount, then it should be 6.25. But the thing is, in IELTS exam they are always rounding up. They are not giving now marks like 6.25. Instead of that they are giving 6.5. Okay, and you can see these other examples as well. I think it's not required to explain. So if you are taking 6.25, then you are taking 6.5. If you are taking 6.75, then you are getting into 7 point. That's how we are taking our overall band score in our IELTS exam. Next one, this is the important thing. Okay, when it's coming to speaking test, this same thing you can find out for writing and other components as well, but here I am talking about speaking test. So this is the public version of band descriptor. What's the meaning by this? Usually examiners are looking from us these kind of requirements. Okay, they have some levels. You can see in this corner, maybe you cannot see properly as these are really tiny letters. Anyways, you can see in this corner 0 to 9, that's called our band score. We already know they have band score up to 9. 9 is the maximum band score we can take from IELTS exam. And here you can see 4 marking criteria: fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, pronunciation. In order to take these band scores, in this band dictator, they have clearly mentioned our fluency and coherence should be this level. Our lexical resources should be at least this level. Grammatical range and accuracy should be at least this level. Pronunciation should be at least this level. So we can say if you are planning for taking band score 7, at least you have to uh, take care about the requirements under band score 8. Because if you are planning for band score 7, as well as if you are following the requirements of band score 7, very tiny mistake might affect for downgrading your band score, maybe 6.5. So don't let it happen. If you are thinking about go with self-study, then keep it in your mind. Just refer this band descriptor properly and find out the requirements of band descriptor, and just keep your goal, keep your KPI somewhat higher than your required band score. Then you can easily achieve your dream band score in IELTS speaking test. That's the way we have to do. And when it's coming to this course, 1 month this course, we have um, prepare our syllabus based on this band descriptor, because these are the requirements of IELTS speaking test, and these are the things examiners are looking from us. In order to doing that, we have prepare our syllabus according to the requirements of band descriptor. Not only this, actually they have a lot more things, but the basic framework of our this speaking course will be this band descriptor. Okay. Now I have somewhat simplify this band descriptor for easy understanding. You can see here IELTS speaking marking criteria. First one is fluency and coherence. In IELTS exam, examiners are looking for our fluency as well as coherence. So fluency and coherence somewhat similar, but not exactly. Fluency means how fluent we are. How fluent can we speak without hesitate? All those things are there. When it's come to coherence, coherence means the logical flow of our speech. It means if you are telling about one specific topic, we should be able to explain on that topic without breaking in between. And in order to do that, we should be able to apply linking words as well as, say, suppose conjunctions, prepositions, and phrasal verbs. All those things are required in order to keep our coherent while we are speaking as one speech. As well as one more thing is there, if you are talking on off topic, not not on the topic, say suppose you got question something like describe about your hometown, maybe part one question. Then if you are talking about somewhat different from your hometown, then we can say that's off topic. That also break into coherent. So you may lose your marks. Just take only one example. So I have divided that band descriptor into three sections here. This middle one is band score 6. Then In below you can see higher than band score 6, 7 point I have mentioned here, and 5 point as the lower band score. In order to take band score 6 under fluency and coherence, occasional hesitation and repetition, use of different word and phrases to connect thoughts and ideas. But when it's come to band score 7, ability to talk at length with very few hesitation. In band score 6, they are saying occasional hesitation. When it's coming to band score 7, they are saying very few hesitations. So in order to getting higher band score in this speaking test, we should master these requirements. We should avoid as much as possible these hesitations while we are speaking, and use of range of connective words and transitions. So connectors, those are really matters when it's coming to speaking. Development of ideas into short self-contained stories. We should be able to generate stories. So those things we will learn in these sessions, classes. Anyways, if you are trying to go with self-study still, then you can really care about these requirements of IELTS speaking test. This is very specific. Actually, this is not a specific explanation, very simplified explanation about fluency and coherence. Within this class, we are talking about a lot more about these things. Lexical resources. Second one, second marking criteria is evaluate the use of wide range of vocabulary to fit with specific contents. So in order to explain wide range of vocabulary, we should have wide range of vocabulary. Instead of using some common words, we should have some specific words, synonyms. All those things are required when it's coming to lexical resources, or else we can say our level of our vocabulary. So you can see here also I have divided the same band score 6 as the middle range, enough flexibility of words to communicate ideas clearly, but with minor errors. Minor errors are acceptable when it's coming to band score 6. Sufficient paraphrasing of the questions. So those things we will learn actually. I will give some example. Whenever examiners are asking questions from us, if we are starting our answer with repeating the same question, then we will lose marks under lexical resources, because we should be capable enough of paraphrasing the question instead of repeating same question as our answer. Okay? Just one example. Those things are there in order to get a higher band score under lexical resources. And when it's coming to band score 7, the requirements are a bit tough. Actually, I don't like to say tough, bit in detail than band score 6. All those things we will learn. And when it's coming to grammatical range and accuracy, same thing is here. Under band score 6, you can see combination of simple, compound, and complex sentences. Occasional mistakes in grammar, but without hindering confusions. What's called by simple, confound, and complex sentences. So these are actually talking up after band score 5. Below band score 5, these complex sentences, all those things are not mentioned in band descriptor. But after band score 5, we can see these things. Under band score 5, actually they are talking about complex sentences. But when it's come to band score 6, they are saying specifically simple, confound, and complex sentences. So maybe you already know they have these type of sentences: simple sentences, confound sentences, and complex sentences. We are basically making these sentences by using conjunctions, coordinating conjunction and subordinating conjunctions, basically. So if we are able to generate ideas by using coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, then obviously you can generate complex and confound sentences. And they have some another part called compound and complex sentences. So that's somewhat bit deeper than this one, but we are talking about these things within our class. Okay. And when it's come to band score 7, a wide range of complex grammatical structures with only rare errors. So if we are doing some errors, we will fall into band score 6 or 6.5. And if we are able to um, if we are able to generate our ideas as well as speak up without any errors, then we can go even up to band score 7 or higher than that. Band score 7 and higher. It's actually very simplified requirement from that band descriptor. We have extracted and simplified, but this in between these requirements, they have a lot more things to learn. Okay. So this is the last part of marking criteria, pronunciation. Some Sri Lankan students are there. They are misunderstanding about this pronunciation part. They are thinking accent is the requirement of pronunciation. We should have native speakers accent for getting higher band score under pronunciation. Actually, that's not the truth. Accent is not required, but clear pronunciation as well as pronounce word properly. Proper pronunciation is required. If you are mispronouncing some words, then listeners cannot understand properly, or maybe they might have some different meanings just because of mispronunciation. Very tiny, small sound, if you are mispronouncing, that also might fallen into some different ideas. They have some similar sounds like F sound. As example, we are saying phone. PH represent for F sound. Phone when it's come to phone, and they have fluff. So double F. If you are mispronouncing those words, then it might give in some different meaning. I'm just giving some examples. Anyways, under band score 6, understandable pronunciation of most word. Most word. It means actually if you are doing some rare mistakes while you are speaking under pronunciation, examiner might reduce some marks, but it might be up to band score 6. Mispronunciation of certain type of words. Certain types of word. It means we can mispronounce some lengthy words, but if you are mispronouncing some very common and small words, then we may not able to get in band score even up to band score 6. So we have to practice ourselves with clear pronunciation. In this class, we are practicing regularly, daily basis. So we can practice together and I can assist you if you are doing any mispronunciation while you are speaking. And in order to gain your pronunciation as well as fluency, they have a lot more things to do, a lot more methods, lot more tricks, as well as lot more exercises. Okay, all those things are there. Now, that's all about marking criterias. All those four sections we already explained, and here actually I'm trying to explain about this S structure, speaking exam structure. Okay, we are not talking about writing or listening or reading parts here. Here we are talking about speaking part. Here you can see overall this speaking test, I mean the exam, will take around 11 to 14 minutes for completion. It depends actually. I cannot say exactly 11 minutes or 12 minutes or maybe 14 minutes. It actually depends because we are talking, and by talking there might have some time fluctuations. It actually customizable. It's depend on the examiners as well. Anyways, it will definitely end within 11 to 14 minutes in most cases. In part 1, we are saying part 1 introduction and interview. Before to part 1, they have some pre-questions like examiners might asking your name and asking for showing your passport. All those things might happen before to this part 1. Here we are talking about part 1 questions. So for part 1, examiners will give in us 4 to 5 minutes for giving answers for all the questions, and the number of questions actually depend on examiner as well as depend on the answers we are giving. If we are giving some lengthy answers, then examiner might reducing the number of questions asking, as well as if you are not able to give in proper answers, then examiner might ask number of questions till fill up this time 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, it actually depend with our capabilities as well as the examiner. When it's coming to part 2, we are saying individual long term. As you know, this is called cue card question. In part 1, questions examiners asking from us, we cannot see the questions in a paper or anywhere, but when it's coming to part 2, we can, examiner will give us a card. In that card, the question actually it's not a question, we can say it's a topic. This topic will be in the card, we can read it, and examiner will give us 1 minute time for be prepare. Within that 1 minute time, we should be really careful about the words we are writing down on that paper. Those are saying keywording. So keywording is one of main part in my class because all these part 2 depend on the keywords we are generating. If we are generating some wrong keywords, our entire answer might be wrong, as well as we will lose some marks. In that case, keywording is somewhat requirement to practice, as well as it's really important. So when it's coming to part 3, we are saying two-way discussion. Part 3 and part 1 actually bit different is there. You can see actually part 1 also examiners are giving 45 minutes for giving answers. Part 3 also in most cases examiners are giving 45 minutes for giving answers. But the difference is this one. In part 1, examiners are asking some questions which related with ourselves, regarding our hometown, our hobby, maybe our job, maybe about ourselves, whichever. Something related with ourselves, as well as they are expecting some personal ideas, personal examples, as well as our choices in part 1. But when it's coming to part 3, these questions are somewhat general, not related with ourselves, but it's maybe related with the society, related with the world. Okay, so they are expecting somewhat serious and general answers from us. Still, we can incorporate our personal experience for giving answers for part 3, but still they have a kind of difference from part 1 to part 3. In order to taking higher marks for these speaking test, we have to understand the difference in between part 1 and part 3. So in our class, we will discuss about these each part different way, as well as they have a lot of methods for giving good answers for this each parts. For part 1, they have different set of methods. For part 2, they have different set of methods for applying in order to give in a in order to give in a good speech. And when it's coming to part 3, they have somewhat different methods for applying for generating good answers. So these methods also we will practice within our class. So once after you will practice and you will get to know about these methods, you will be able to give in a higher answers for these questions. And we will try to cover as much of questions within Makage's book within our class. So that will be the homeworks of your this class. Now we are talking about this 1 month our this course. Before talking about this course, is there any questions about our speaking test? If you have any questions, you can ask. Is there anyone who already have booked your exam? Okay, I get it as no. Anyways, now we are talking about the course. They have some similar phases as well. Anyways, I will explain again. What will you learn? Actually, as I explained, this syllabus is based on IELTS speaking test requirement. Basically, the requirements of this marking criteria, this band descriptor. Okay, in order to achieving the requirements of band descriptor, this syllabus covering everything. Theory part means actually I really don't like to um, teach about grammar. Grammar is there, but grammar which required for speaking, that's all we are talking here. Not the grammar which required for writing. That is actually kind of boring things to learn for most of the students. But here we are talking about grammar which required for speaking. That's all about grammar. As speaking patterns, tips and methods. As I explained, there have so many methods, as well as some tips for facing 12th exam, as well as tips for impressing your examiner, and some patterns which you can guess the type of questions you are getting in your exam. So all those things you can learn. Continuous mock test and speaking practice. People who already have participated into my class, they already know that we are practicing mock tests as well as Q card type of questions continuously. And within our class, within our class also, we are practicing our speaking, as well as we are giving ideas, and sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, we are evaluating your speeches as well. That's there. And time management. What's called by time management? Mostly when it's coming to IELTS speaking test, you already seen they have time frame. For part 1, 45 minutes. For part 2, 4 minutes, maybe 3 to 4 minutes. For part 3, again 4 to 5 minutes. But within that 4 to 5 minutes in part one, how many time can we consume for giving an answer for one question? That's the issue. In order to overcome this issue, we have to practice as well as we have to practice for managing our time. Mostly this problem appearing when it's coming to cue card question for most of the students, because within that 1 minute of time, they don't like to generate kind of good keywords. Actually, it's not about they don't like. It's about they are not practicing to generating good keywords. If you are not getting good enough keywords, you may be not able to cover up 2 minutes of speech. And sometimes some students are there who always generating higher number of keywords. So covering higher number of keywords, it's required more than 2 minutes. The outcome of that is whenever you are trying to uh, explaining about everything within your keywords, you are running out time. In that case, you may not be able to cover up all your ideas within your 2 minutes of time. For overcoming this issue, keywording also really important. That's why I explained keywording also we will learn as well as practice, and keywording patterns also there we will learn everything within our class. And apart from that, they have so many things to learn. And what will you get from this class? Access for each day sessions at any time, because all of the sessions recording I will upload onto YouTube, so you can watch all the sessions at any time, as well as you can watch back your own speeches as well. Also, whatever the evaluations I am doing on your speeches, all those evaluations also I will upload into YouTube, so you can watch at any time and you can practice yourself. Access for mock test and evaluation recordings. As I said, recordings will upload into YouTube. Extra mock test and cue card practices. Extra mock tests and cue card practices will happen uh, in Sunday evenings. So as I explained, actually I will come back to that point later on. So for now, keep it in your mind. In from this month onward, this last one, earlier I didn't done this one because most of nurses mostly complaining that due to their shift schedule they cannot participate into this class at 8:30 p.m. some days. In that case, I thought to conduct same class twice per day. Okay, say suppose Monday daytime I'm covering same session, and nighttime also I'm covering same session. So whoever in day shift they can join with day class, night class. Whoever in night shift they can join with the day class. So optional. It depends on your availability. So when it's coming to cue card practice, you can join it either day class or night class, because evaluating cue card will take maybe 40 minutes or say suppose 30 minutes for one person. So if you are trying to participate into both day and night within one day for cue card practice and mock test, then it will take some extra time and it will be a disturbance for the person who is joined for a specific day or night class. In that case, when it is coming to practical sessions, you can join it day or night as you like. But when it's coming to theory class, if you are free, you can join it day class as well as night class. If you are getting any um, misunderstanding or any questions within day class, still you can join back with night class and resolving your issues, or maybe you can ask from me. That options are there. Only for testing and practicing, you can join with either day or night class. Okay. So that option might be really helpful for you if you are a person who is working on shift based. And this is what I require to explain. Actually, up to now, I didn't implemented this one, but from this month onward, you can see you can practice this one also. This is, I can say, a model page of Maka guest books, guest answers, cue card answers. You can see number 1 to 88 cue cards are there in Maka guest book. Same I have uploaded into this slide. As an example, I will open number 1 here. So once after opening number 1, you can see they have number 1 question as well as follow-up questions also. So whichever questions you are taking as your homework, or maybe whichever questions I am giving within classes for giving answers to you, I will highlighted all those questions in this slide. I will keep separate slides for all of you on your name, so you can identify which questions you have already taken and which questions are pending to take. So you can cover Maka guestbook in that way without disturbing and without overusing same question. Okay, that option also there. Okay, that's all about this one. Now this is about the course, duration and all other information. This course will start by next Friday. It means day after tomorrow, 11th of August, and it will run exactly in 1 month, 11th of September, which means September 11th will be again Monday. So that will be the last day. So if there is any disturbance like power failure or some non-availability, so this might be dragged into 1 or 2 more days, but more in most cases we will cover this session as well as we will fit in finishing this class with the specific explained time frame and timing and hours every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. to 10:30. When it's coming to theory classes, I can finish these theory classes exactly from 2 hours. But when it's coming to practical sessions, they have some mock tests within these days also. Maybe time might be bit higher than the required time, like that might be 11 or maybe 11:30. It depends on the way we are taking our practical sessions. Anyways, apart from practical sessions, when it's coming to theory classes, we can cover within 2 hours. And daytime class, I still didn't plan any specific time. It will happen after discussion with the persons who join with this class. If there is any person who is covering day shift, night shift, then I will plan accordingly. Up to now, this is the time for night class, and if there is a requirement, definitely I will plan a day class as well as I promise. And next question, why only cover speaking? This question asking from a lot of students because they need to cover all these four components here, but we are talking about speaking. The thing is, you may already have went through some another classes, or maybe your friends might have already enrolled any other IELTS class which is covering these four sections. The thing is, they are always considering about writing part, reading part, listening somewhat, not too much they are considering, but writing and reading they are too much concerning, but they are giving less priority for speaking part. Maybe you may cover 2 to 3 mock tests and they might evaluate and give you a band score. That's all. They are not telling you these methods, practical ways, and the way you should face to exam. All those things they are not concerning too much because they don't have time for that, because they have to cover all these four sections. Here, this 1 month is bare enough for covering the requirements of speaking test. If you are talking about writing and other parts here, this 1 month is not enough for doing that. That's why I have only talking about speaking part. By joining with this class, you can gain everything about speaking test. So you don't need to worry about your speaking and your fluency, but still it depends on your commitment. Huh? I cannot be sure like you will be fluent after 1 month. I can be sure if you are joining with every classes and if you are practicing with me and if you are telling what I am asking you to do and homeworks, all those things, then definitely I can be sure about your fluency and your speaking level. Okay, it depends on your commitment. And lastly, registration. The registration form will be shared once after the payment. They have actually a small registration form, just a Google form, in order to get your basic information, because I have to collect your WhatsApp number, your email, if there is any requirement for sending these YouTube links and all those things, as well as I should understand what kind of jobs you are doing. You might be a nurse, you might be a doctor, you might be a demonstrator, you might be a teacher. So I need to understand your basic background, because that will be really helpful me to uh, gain a relationship between yourself and myself while we are discussing within our classes. So I can be, because if I know about you, I can give some examples which is related with you. As example, if you are a nurse, whenever I am telling about some incidents with you, then I am always taking examples related with health sector. Then that might be familiar to you. For doing that, I need to get some basic idea about yourself. That's why registration form is there. Okay. Lastly, about students' comments are there. I don't need to explain all this. And course fees, last thing actually. Up to now, I given this press option only, but most of the students are asking to continue their class after 1 month's completion, or they're asking to enroll the next month also. So if you are about to enroll this class for 2 months continuously for practice actually, then you can go with second option. Otherwise you can go with press option for 1 month. From this 1 month, you will definitely be able to cover all the theory parts, all the tricks, all the tips, all the methods, and you can practice a lot within this 1 month. So it doesn't mean 2 months are required for enrolling and gaining your knowledge. This second month might be helpful for you to practice continuously, because within 1 month you may not be able to cover all the questions in Makage's book. Okay, maybe you will not have enough time for covering 86 questions. It depends on your availability. So if you require to take more mock test and getting evaluated, as well as if you require to cover all the questions of Makage's book and get the evaluation from my side, then still you can go with the second option. But once after you finish 1 month, after paying 5,000 and asking for second month, then again you have to go with first option again 5,000. That's why I have given this as option. Okay, it depends on your requirement. And payments, you can do bank payments. This account number I will share with the group. You can pay whatever you if you are planning to go with this exam, try to register within tomorrow or maybe morning hours of day after tomorrow, because day after tomorrow we will start this class. Some students already have paid and joined in the class, so I will not taking too much students for one class, because I need to have individual attention. I need to know you individually and I need to assist you individually. In that case, I'm not taking too much students for one class. Anyways, you can join with the class. That's why I plan this introduction session. So that's all about the class. If you have any question about this session or maybe the class or maybe about the speaking test, now it's time you to ask from me. Still you can ask from Sinhala as well. හරි කාට හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න පුළුවන්. Disney, why are you here? Disney, is this our regular Disney? I guess yes.
Yes, sir.
You already got your chance. You still need to join with introduction. Anyways, I'm just kidding. Huh? You are the lucky winner of our few giveaway. Anyways, Indica is there, one of familiar face. Apart from Indica and Disney, is there any questions from any other? What are ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? Yes,
So how
Kalana?
do you do the evaluation?
Evaluation. Yes, Kalana, good question. Or now you can see right now I am recording this session. Okay, but as this is the introduction session, I'm not going to play back. But in our all sessions, whenever we are starting our session by 8:30 p.m. as an example, I'm starting recording. So whenever you are delivering your speech, all these speeches will be recorded in the same time. So once after finish your speeches, I will play back your record instantly in the same time in front of you by pausing your record. If there is any issues, gaps, then I am pausing your speech and I am evaluating, as well as I am giving suggestions, I am giving corrections. That's the way I evaluating. The thing, the requirement for doing that, Kalana, if I am disturbing you while you are explaining something, say suppose you are giving an answer for few card question. So while you are giving your answer, if I find out some mistake of you, then if I say like, Kalana please wait, Kalana please wait, that is not correct. You have to tell this in this way, like that. If I'm disturbing you while you are speaking, you may understand what I am saying. Then after, you cannot continue with same strength, same confidence. In that case, I really don't like to disturb any of you while you are speaking. What I am doing is I am playing back your speeches just after finish your speeches in the same session and evaluating. That's the way I am doing that, Kalana.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hmm. Any other questions? I hope no. Then I really don't like to take too much time of you. If you have any other questions, still you can ask. Otherwise, I will finish this one. One more important thing, if you register with this class by tomorrow, then before to this class, before starting this class by day after tomorrow, definitely I will have one individual evaluation of you. But for only persons who will be joining with this class by tomorrow, then definitely by tomorrow night or maybe day after tomorrow morning, I will call you one by one and I will have some individual evaluations. Then it will be beneficial for you to understand your current level, as well as you can discuss with me your problems while you are speaking. Your problems with your IELTS speaking test and everything will be there. So that also possible. That will be happen actually. That's the way I am doing this class. So I think that's all then. There is no any requirement for waiting here for you. We'll meet day after tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining me this session. Still, if you have any questions, you can reach me by WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is there in the group. You can call me, you can message me, you can ask me anything individually. Okay. So thank you everyone for being here until the end, as well as good night for everyone.